Coffee with Crime and Sugar by Shakespeare on AO3. Episode 8, Chapter 3. Izuku's not sure how many "this is fine" are going to get him through this. Realistically, there's no amount of denial to make him turn a blind eye. He's been having trouble sleeping while knowing that Murasakai is just a wall away. Like if he lets his guard down, the other will somehow figure out that Izuku knows his dirty, blood-covered secret. He should leave. Maybe he should stay over at his mom's? He usually does that when he's sick, and that was the lie he'd given to Murasakai. But it's clear that the man had some weird interest in Izuku. What if he stalks him and finds out where his mom lives? It's better to stay inside of his stuffy apartment. Every entrance locked. Tight. Well, at least he now has sugar for baking. The next few days aren't as cramped as he thought they would be. He stays inside, bakes a different treat every night, works on some easier request jobs that he had pinned, and tries to keep his mind away from thoughts of his body being dismembered and scattered all over Murasakai's, with his fingers and teeth pulled out and burned to make him unidentifiable. Though, sadly, he's sure that the only person who would notice him missing would be his mom, when he just stops calling her to check in. Murasakai has not come knocking on his door, but Izuku can hear him through the walls, the sound of him typing away at his computer, of him locking his door at night and going down the hall to the elevator. Izuku's unsure if he's going out for business or leisure, but he's not curious anymore, and quite frankly, does not want to be. The mystery of Murasakai has turned into a deadly one, and with Izuku's crummy luck, he needs to be 10 times more cautious. He's still unsure if the man is actually here to carry out a hit, or if he just relocated and is making this place his home. If it is the former, Izuku needs to make sure he stays out of the crossfire. However, he'll need to restock on groceries soon, and there's only so many sick days that he could get away with. Stupid, unethical company! Don't they know that he's going through a crisis? He really should burn them to the ground sooner. He'll have to bite the bullet and venture out to deal with responsibilities. He's perfected the art of being as quiet and unnoticeable as a mouse, but his heart is still too quick for comfort when heading out. Hoodie pulled over his head, and keeping his gaze down while looking through the building's lobby, passing the hallway. Maybe it might be closer to evening, but Murasaka's schedule is all over the place, so Izuku isn't quite sure if his stealth is needed or not. It is not untense the whole run to work, which is disappointed because running has always helped him unwind. Though he's not sure if he'll be unwinding any time in the near future if his deadly neighbor is here to stay. And if Murasakai really is here on a job, it would be so many levels of messed up for Izuku to wish for him to be done and leave. This will be fine. He tries to reassure him, but unfortunately just the sight of his workplace up ahead leaves him feeling like a pile of cold manure. It's probably immortal to wonder what Murasakai's rates are. Well, regardless of shitty employers and hazardous work conditions, survival is the goal. Surviving his lousy job and gathering enough proof to have them shut down, survive this as a quirkless individual, and try to let his life get away with him, survive Murasakai, and get to live another day. What a tiresome life he has. At least things seem to go by fast, even if his bog's nagging him for taking time off. Grocery shopping is similar affair. Quick, effortless, but this time, thankfully, with no angry, quirkish jerks who like to throw clipboards. He's mostly just dreading running into Murasakai when he gets back to his building, but he'll have to face him eventually. It's wind down to time when he gets back, the cafe nearly empty and the cats taking their evening naps. The barista is thrilled to see him not dead, and Izuku can't help but think that's unfortunate wording, as he's urged to take a seat on one of the bar stools while she prepares as usual. "Been that sick, Greenie?" she questions when setting his cup in front of him. "Little worry, more like." "Yeah, but I'm feeling sorta better," he answers, keeping his hood over his head to hide his curls so he's not recognized in case of a certain someone walking in. Cabin fever makes the sick last forever, so try to get out more, the barista said. The new resident sure was giving you lots of attention the last time you were here, she notes with a smirk. Izuku doesn't need to hear that observation right now. He looked super lonely when you didn't show up for days. Even the old lady gossip didn't seem to serve as much distraction for him. She goes on, but then her eyes fixate on something behind Izuku, more near the front of the cafe. Oh, speak of the devil, she says in a hushed voice, right before the little jingle of the bell above the door rings out as it opens and closes. Izuku feels stiff as a board as he hears the footsteps from someone behind him, but they're more off to the side. As discreet as he can, he angles his head so he could see, and he finds in sight that he hasn't seen before. There's a prominent frown on Murasaka's face as he crosses the cafe and makes a beeline straight for the elevator. He's got what looks like a single grocery bag in hand, though who's to know if that's just what he wants people to think it is. But the thing that really draws Izuku's attention is the angry, swollen bruise of a black eye. Murasaka gives no greeting or farewell in the short amount of time. It's like he's not even aware of anyone else as he simply boards the elevator without a word. Whoa, the barista says after the elevator door closes. Did you see that shimmer? Wonder where he could have gotten that. Izuku's brain could come up with a few scenarios. All of them involve someone getting murdered. He looked pissed too. Do you think he's the kind of guy to get into fights? She goes on, unaware that a killing machine, a pissed-looking one, was close to them. I don't know, Izuku answers. He takes a sip of his tea. The liquid cooled, since he took too long to finish it. The cafe suddenly feels a lot safer now that he knows where his neighbor is, but he'll have to go up to his apartment eventually. Not to mention that Murasaka may come down here later. He has to think on what would be better, the stairs or the elevator. If he takes the stairs, then he'll be able to crack the door to his floor open to peep if the coast is clear. But the thought of accidentally falling down the stairs and dying suddenly decides to play in his mind. He wonders if he ever thought of this many death scenarios before. In the end, the stairs win. Sure, it's more convenient for a push to look like a fall, but if Izuku gets off on the elevator, with its loud ding and Murasaka in his hall, there's no avoiding him. His jog to work and the grocery store leave his muscles prepared for the trek up the stairwell, but his brain has become the true athlete here, overguessing at every opportunity. All the scenarios that he thought of mere to an amplification. Perhaps Murasaka was out on a job that fought back. A feudal punch to his face while the victim fought for their life. Did they plead first before fighting back? Did they go down swinging? Was it messy? Maybe that bag had contained evidence that wasn't to be left at the crime scene. Or maybe it was his payment. Izuku sure does a good job of making himself lose whatever appetite he had. He seriously needs to get a grip and act normal. When he reaches his floor, he cracks the door just the barest amount, wincing when the old thing squeaks. But the area is clear. The squeak sounds more haunting when he opens it fully to step onto the hall, but he thinks that maybe the ding of the elevator wasn't as loud as he thought, at least compared to this. Well, maybe if Murasaka hears it, he'll just assume that it's old pipes, creaking in the walls of the building, or maybe the hollowed sound of air running through the vents, or the air passing a body stuffed into the vents, crammed in there and decomposing. Izuku makes a quick but quiet pace to his door, fumbling for his keys before slotting it in and twisting it to let himself inside. The tension only loosens when all of the lock slots are into place, but even then, it's not by a considerable amount. He knows that the evaluation from a few days ago is still very much concerning, but it's seriously getting in the way of him doing his day-to-day tasks. It would help if his neighbor paid no mind to Izuku at all. even if those deep, mesmerizing violet eyes are so easy to get lost in. It pains him to admit it still, but the other is unfairly handsome, even if he is a killer. God, does that mean Izuku's morals are screwed up? Is he a bad person? I don't think that would make Izuku a bad person. Also, I'm loving this because this is definitely completely new material. Same basis in like the first chapter and stuff like that, but we're starting to get new material, new stuff. I'm really interested in it. Ooh, I'm so fucking excited. Like, I don't think you understand how happy and excited I am. Oh my god. I can't wait to see more of this, but I wonder how this is gonna resolve. We're in chapter 3, so the miscommunication should resolve soon, either in chapter 3 or chapter 4. Hopefully chapter 3 and we get some fluff things in chapter 4, or some just like them flirting and them, you know, whatever, getting together. So like miscommunication clears chapter 3. Chapter 4 is the pining chapter completely, like full pining. But no, yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes. Okay, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.